All right, ladies. So in today's video, I am going to dive deep into the dark and twisted levels of male manipulation when it comes to the complex world of dating and relationships. I put in the title First Date because that is often where the trap is set. But let me be crystal clear with you right from the start. This actually applies to the early stages of getting to know a man and understanding his true character before you give him your heart. I get hundreds of messages every single week from women all over the world telling me how men pull away without warning, how they suddenly lose interest after showing so much promise, how they give you mixed signals that leave you confused and anxious, and you end up feeling used, weak, and desperate, chasing someone who only gives you the bare minimum effort while demanding everything from you. My name is Ismael Gomez, and I am a coach, writer, and public speaker who has seen it all. And I am here to tell you, ladies, that you have to be extremely careful about who you welcome into your sacred space. Because some men, the wrong kind, will test you in deceiving and manipulative ways meant to steal your power, drain your energy, and make you codependent on their validation. And if you want to avoid falling into that toxic trap, you need to pay close attention to some of the major red flags that I share with you in this video. So let us begin our journey into the mind of the manipulator. The first way that a toxic man will test you usually begins with the phone, which is the gateway to modern intimacy. And one of the most subtle yet effective methods he uses is the time delay tactic. And here is exactly how this cruel game goes. He will send you a text saying something like, "Hey beautiful, I cannot wait to see you today." Or maybe he sends a sweet good morning message that makes your heart skip a beat. Naturally, you are excited, right? Because you feel a connection and you feel valued. So you text back right away with enthusiasm and warmth. And then you hear absolutely nothing for hours, and sometimes even for a whole day. So while you are sitting there waiting for a reply, wondering what went wrong, what usually happens is he posts something funny or interesting on social media. Or maybe you see that he is online on WhatsApp, or you see that little blue tick indicating he read your message right in front of his eyes. And he knows this. He knows you are waiting and he knows you are watching. And still, he deliberately chooses not to text back. So what do you do in this moment of panic and uncertainty? What many of you do is you respond with the dreaded double text. Instead of waiting patiently for him to reply with dignity, you send a second reply to his original message, asking if he is okay, or sending another meme just to get his attention. And then he finally ends up replying, but now the dynamics have shifted dramatically, and you are chasing him for crumbs of attention, and he finally gave you his attention only because you begged for it. So why does he do this cruel thing? He wants you to be reactive and emotional by chasing his attention. You are demonstrating to him that you believe that he has higher value than you, and that your time is less important than his. And he wants to move you off center to see how you respond to rejection and silence. Now, if he does this once, do not block him, okay? Or cut him off completely right away, because we always want to give the benefit of the doubt at first. Maybe he was truly busy with an emergency, or maybe he is the type of guy that watches a lot of this toxic dating advice online on how to get a woman to chase him. I mean, ladies, if I were to show you some of the love advice, okay, that men are being given here on YouTube and TikTok, your head would literally explode with shock and disbelief. Actually, you know what? Let me show you a quick example of the garbage out there. But what I can tell you is that these gurus teach men that women do not care about genuine connection. And the more that you try to connect with a woman in order to have chemistry, the more you try to connect with a woman to have feelings of real love, or the more you try to connect with a woman in order to build something meaningful, what you are going to notice, according to them, is that you will be completely punished. She will completely disrespect you. She will completely pull away from you. And on top of that, she is going to look at you as a guy who has no options and is desperate. So they teach men to withhold attention to create artificial scarcity. Going back to our point of the time delay, do not stand for this behavior, okay? If he does it once, call him out on it immediately, all right? Without being dramatic or giving a big emotional speech, you just say, "Hey, listen, I like people that match my level of communication when it comes to texting or calling. and I value consistency. And see what he has to say about that boundary. If he keeps repeating the same behavior, then I suggest that you walk away and never look back, because he is showing you who he is. The next way that a toxic man will test you is in person during the date. And this level of manipulation can come in a variety of flavors and disguises. He might casually mention an ex-girlfriend, for example, who sounds like a supermodel, or someone who is very successful and wealthy. This comparison is designed specifically to make you feel insecure and inferior to her memory. So do not be fooled by this attempt to shrink your confidence and make you compete for his approval. A genuine connection is built on appreciating each other for who you are, not diminishing one another to boost his ego. He might also challenge you in an uncomfortable and aggressive way. It could be a verbal challenge, like you might share that you like pop music, for example, because it makes you happy. He might go on a rant about why pop music is terrible, why you should never listen to it, and why your taste is basic. He wants to see if you are willing to stand firm in your beliefs and preferences, or if you bend under pressure trying to be agreeable so that you do not offend him and lose his favor. Another version of this insidious test is the backhanded compliment. Saying something like, "That dress looks great on you, but I bet it will look better in white." Or, "You are actually smarter than you look," which implies you usually look dumb. Many of these comments are crafted carefully to induce overthinking and trigger anxiety in you, so the other person can feel in control and superior, while you feel small and unsure. Finally, on a date, he might also test you by pushing for physical intimacy. Maybe he is holding your hand too tightly, maybe he tries to kiss you when you are not ready, or maybe he is more aggressive than that in his advances. But a low-value man will rush to get in your pants because he wants to see how comfortable you are setting your own boundaries and how easy it is to break them when he applies pressure and persistence. Something that I can tell you with absolute certainty is that a high-value man does not take pleasure in forcing you into something that you are not comfortable with or rushing the process. He takes pleasure in knowing that you are secure enough to say yes or no and stick into your decision without fear of retaliation. And when you finally do say yes, the experience will be that much better for both of you, because he knows that he has earned your trust and that now you really want to be with him, not because you were coerced. A situationship with a man is pretty much when he is getting all the benefits of a relationship, like sex, companionship, and emotional support, without having to commit to you or define the relationship. Now, why would he do this? Simple, because you allowed him to get away with it. Ask your grandmother if she was ever in a situationship. Explain it to her and see what she says. She will probably laugh at the absurdity of it, by the way. This happens to men too. Do not think that this is exclusively a woman problem. But I do not know about you, but for me, it is all or nothing. Anything in the middle, I walk away from it. Because I value my time and peace of mind too much to waste it on ambiguity. For our final point, we have other toxic men, or I would say immature boys in men bodies, that tend to conceal their true feelings, no matter how interested they might be in you. Some men will keep their feelings close to their vest because they do not want to give up their leverage or power in the dynamic. This tactic creates a harmful power dynamic that makes you feel like you are too needy or always asking for too much in the relationship, when all you are doing is seeking basic clarity. Another behavior is that after you have been dating him for a while, and maybe you started being intimate already, a toxic man, a lot of the times, is going to pull away suddenly, and he is going to wait for you to start initiating the next date or conversation. He is going to go back to the same cat and mouse tactics, leaving you in the dark and you are feeling ghosted, waiting for you to ask him to hang out. And every time that you start reaching out too much, he is going to pull back further, right? And then when you start to lose interest or you start to focus on yourself and your own life, then he is going to come back again and speak to you. Because all the time he wants to see how you respond, to see what type of reaction he can get out of you. When you express anger or frustration, he will just shower you with compliments and love bombing at the same time, making you feel like you are blowing things out of proportion and being crazy. And this emotional roller coaster is going to keep you off balance and always craving his approval and validation. Again, this is another example of toxic testing behavior that should not be tolerated in a healthy and respectful relationship. You are an equal partner, not a puppet on a string. Because here is a behavior that you need to understand deeply. And this applies to both men and women, because I have had some women that have done it to me as well, is that some people will keep coming back again and again, wasting your precious time. Not because they truly want you or love you. They just do not want to see you happy with someone else. Or they just do not want to see you happy and independent single. So think about that deeply when you see someone being hot and cold constantly. Remember, ladies, that you deserve a genuine connection, not a game of chess, okay? And I know that a lot of you maybe did not have a father who taught you these things, or a brother to protect you. But you need to recognize these red flags, okay? So you can protect yourself and steer clear of men who prioritize manipulation over building a healthy relationship based on trust. Trust your guts, and do not be afraid to walk away if something feels off or unsafe. The right person will appreciate you for who you are and not try to play games with your heart or test your limits. I promise you that when the connection is right, everything feels almost effortless and natural, not like a battle. All right, so that is all I have for today, ladies. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel and being part of this community. I am glad you have chosen me to learn about love, dating, and relationship dynamics. Because like I always say, for your relationships to change, you need to change your mindset and standards first. Have a beautiful day and stay strong. Now let us dig deeper into the psychology behind these actions, because understanding the why is just as important as recognizing the what when a man uses the time delay tactic. He is not just being busy, he is engaging in a power play that is rooted in insecurity and a desire for control. He wants to see if you will crumble under the weight of uncertainty, because if you crumble, he knows he has you hooked. He knows that your self-worth is tied to his response, and that is a dangerous place for you to be. Imagine if you flipped the script. Imagine if you sent a message and he did not reply for hours, and instead of panicking, you went about your day. You went to the gym, you met friends, you worked on your passion projects, and you did not check your phone every 5 minutes. How would that make him feel? It would make him question his own value. It would make him wonder if you are as invested as he thought. And that is where the shift happens. But most women are conditioned to believe that being available means being desirable. And that is a lie. Being available to someone who does not respect your time makes you look desperate, not desirable. So when he posts on social media while ignoring your text, he is sending a clear message that his audience is more important than your conversation. And if you accept that, you are accepting a lower status in his life. And that is not where you want to be. You want to be a priority, not an option. And if he cannot see that, then he is not the one for you. Let us talk more about the double text because it is such a common mistake we make when we feel anxious. We try to fix the silence with more noise. We think if we just say one more thing, he will reply. But all we are doing is showing him that we are unsettled by his silence, and that gives him power. A better approach is to do nothing. Let the silence sit. Let it be uncomfortable for him too. If he wants to talk to, he will. If he does not, then you have your answer. And that answer is that he is not interested enough to make an effort. And that is painful, but it is also freeing, because now you know you do not have to waste any more time guessing. You can move on to someone who is excited to talk to you and who values your communication style. And remember, communication is not just about words. It is about energy and timing and respect. If he respects you, he will not leave you hanging. If he does not, then he does not deserve your energy. Plain and simple. Let us also explore the concept of the toxic guru advice that men are consuming because it is pervasive and damaging. There are entire industries built on teaching men how to manipulate women into attraction, and it is sickening. They teach men to be cold, distant, and unpredictable because they believe that women are attracted to mystery and challenge. But real women are not attracted to games. They are attracted to confidence and authenticity. And when a man plays games, he is showing that he lacks both confidence and authenticity. He is hiding behind a mask because he is afraid that if he shows his true self, he will be rejected. So he creates a persona that is hard to get and hard to please, and he tests women to see if they will jump through hoops to earn his approval. And if they do, he loses respect for them because he sees them as easy to manipulate. And if they do not, he moves on to the next target, because he is not looking for a partner, he is looking for a victim. This is why it is so important for you to understand these tactics so you can spot them early and avoid them. Do not let some internet guru dictate the terms of your relationship. Do not let a man who is following a script determine your worth. You are not a puzzle to be solved. You are a person to be known and loved. And if a man cannot see that, then he is blind. And you do not need to be with someone who is blind to your value. Now, when we talk about the in-person tests, like mentioning the ex or challenging your opinions, we are talking about subtle forms of emotional abuse that are designed to erode your self-esteem over time. It starts small with a comment here and there, but eventually you find yourself walking on eggshells, afraid to say or do anything that might upset him. You start doubting your own tastes and opinions, and you start molding yourself into what you think he wants. And that is the death of intimacy. Because intimacy requires two whole, authentic individuals, not one person shrinking to fit the other. So when he mentions his ex, who is a supermodel, he is trying to make you feel inadequate so that you will try harder to prove yourself to him. But you do not need to prove anything to anyone. You are enough as you are. And if he cannot see that, then he is not looking at you. He is looking at a reflection of his own insecurities. And when he challenges your opinion on music or movies or politics, he is not having a debate. He is conducting a test. He wants to see if you will submit to his worldview or if you will stand your ground. And if you stand your ground, he might respect you, but he might also label you as difficult or argumentative because he wants compliance, not partnership. So pay attention to how he reacts when you disagree with him. Does he listen? Does he respect your perspective? Or does he try to shut you down or mock you? His reaction will tell you everything you need to know about his character and his capacity for a healthy relationship. The issue of physical boundaries is also critical because it is where respect is most visibly tested. A man who pushes for physical intimacy before you are ready is showing you that his desires are more important than your comfort, and that is a huge red flag. It does not matter if he says he is just attracted to you or if he says everyone does it. What matters is how he responds when you say no or slow down. If he respects your no, then he is a keeper. If he pouts or pressures you or tries to guilt trip you, then he is a user, and you need to get away from him immediately, because that behavior will not stop at physical intimacy. It will extend to emotional and financial boundaries as well. He will push you to do things you are not comfortable with in all areas of your life because he believes he has the right to control you. And that is not love. That is domination. And there is a big difference between the two. Love empowers you. Domination diminishes you. So trust your body when it tells you something is wrong. If you feel tense or anxious or pressured around him, listen to that feeling. It is your intuition trying to protect you. Do not ignore it. Do not rationalize it away. Do not tell yourself he is just eager or he just likes you a lot. No, he is disrespecting you, and you deserve better than that. You deserve a man who waits for you, who cherishes you, who makes you feel safe and desired, not used and rushed. And when it comes to situationships, we need to be honest about why they happen. They happen because we are afraid of being alone, and we are afraid of setting standards that might scare people away. But the truth is that setting standards does not scare away the right people. It scares away the wrong people. And that is a good thing, because you do not want the wrong people in your life. You want people who are ready and willing to commit to you. And if a man is not ready to commit, then he is not the right person for you, no matter how much chemistry you have or how good the sex is, because chemistry fades and sex gets boring. But respect and commitment last and build a foundation for a life together. So do not settle for a situationship. Do not settle for breadcrumbs when you deserve the whole loaf of bread. You deserve a man who is proud to be with you, who introduces you to his friends and family, who plans for the future with you, and who does not hide you in the shadows of his life, because you are not a secret. You are a prize, and you should be treated as such. The hot and cold behavior is perhaps the most addictive and destructive pattern because it creates a trauma bond that is hard to break. When he is hot, he is amazing. He is attentive, loving, and wonderful, and you feel on cloud nine.